What I forgot to mention that is in addition to those other losses in time and everything, there was multiple occasions where I had the potential for new customers that came up that I wasn't able to respond to their inquiries as soon as I should have, and I don't know what potentially losses that would cause, but there was that in addition. And also I want to mention that this is Florida. I mean, other than Jacksonville and Tallahassee, you have this demographic of people that are retired, and I pushed for more money on that job, and I got pushed back, and I didn't want to lose the other part of the relationship as far as lawn service, and that kind of compelled me to do that, but I won't do it again. I mean, I've said that before, but this time I mean it. So there is that to think about. So hopefully you can learn from my mistakes, or you may be in a demographic where it makes sense to take on that kind of work, even though you've got the investment in lawn equipment and stuff like that. All right, I'll catch you later. So good morning. Finishing that tree job, trying to tell you my experiences, so maybe somebody else could learn from them. It's not fun to put out this kind of information, but I want to let you know what maybe my losses were and what the problems that I had with this deal. Well, first thing is the type of material the tree it was. It just doesn't want to lay in the trailer at all. It's just loose, and then by the time it's up to a point where you can mash it down, it's 12 foot high, and you can't even throw anything more up on there. About 15 times a day I'd have near accidents when I wasn't able to stand here and watch it, because these people, I don't know, all of a sudden they thought they needed to go everywhere every 5 minutes. And this is the same customer that I said backed into a car. So my customer that I'm working for backed into their car. Now I'm having to park behind their street because these streets are staggered. See, there's nowhere to park, because if I park, unless I'm blocking my customer's driveway, then I'm in a position to be T-boned by the people across the street when they back out of their drive. Now back to the material itself. When it came off the tree, it was laying this way. And if this gap, there's not enough room to turn it, so that means you have to separate. You can't drag it backwards, So you had to separate each limb, make a new stack to drag it to the truck. Well, and these are little things you learn if you're in the tree business, but I'm not. You learn, well, that type of tree, it's going to be a tangled mess. It's going to fill my trailer fast. It's going to be a bear to drag it. A cedar tree or something else might be like, oh, those are easy. They stack in tight, no, less loads and everything. You know that when you do trees all the time. $300 was the payment, but I've had 4 loads out of here. So had I been going to the dump with it, the dump fees would have exceeded the bid. I lost reputation. This customer, 30 a cut, plus the referral from that, another 30. Plus, I don't know who referred me to them and how much backtracking there is, but on the downstream, there's those 2, and then that one that weed eat at the lake for $100 a month. So you can figure I would have held all those accounts for 5 years. So you do the math, 30, so 60 a month for 5 years, and 100 a month for 5 years. That would be the minimum of losses, because I should have walked away from this job, and then at that point I'm sure I would have lost those customers. So that would be part of the losses. But I have an artificial knee. For me to go and do manual labor like this, dragging limbs, trying to throw them up on that trailer and stuff, takes now 4 days I was here, okay, 4 occasions. Now I didn't put in nearly a whole day, but I put in as much labor as I would have for a whole day of mowing. And therefore I didn't have the energy to go out and mow the rest of the day. And adding up more on the loss side, there was multiple occasions where I didn't have the equipment I needed in my lawn rig because it was displaced to this rig. The small saw, straps, whatever I might have needed. I had to do without or make back trips. Or, I did try to load everything back and forth, but that took labor and time too. So that goes on to the loss side. I make too good of money on mowing. I've invested too much to set aside the $30,000 or whatever I've got invested in mowing rigs and all the time and everything, to set that aside and grab a $50 chainsaw and come out here and cut limbs and drag them to the street. So that's a loss. And when I think of that, it tells me, if I'm asked for this again, that say, well, I don't think, they point up to the tree or something. And yeah, that's ugly. I don't care. The way it's trimmed, I don't like it, but that's what she wanted, and that's the way it goes. But a customer points up to the tree, I'll say, yeah, I don't think my mower is going to fit up there. And they're going to be like, what do you mean? Well, my mower is my invested, my mechanical advantage. It's my workforce multiplier. If you're hiring me for manual labor, chances are you're going to get screwed, and I'm going to get screwed, because my time is going to take too much of my time that could have been applied elsewhere. And another thing on the loss side, and it could have been applied elsewhere where I make decent money in relation to the amount of effort that I exert. And that's because I have stored energy in that when I invest my time in the downtime, keeping those mowers perfect, and in getting used mowers and having plenty of mowers. That's my force multiplier. That's what gives value to what I do. Chances are you bring me off of that investment and want me to pick up manual labor, you're going to get ripped as a customer, and I'm going to get ripped off because I'll have too much time invested and have loss of opportunity elsewhere from now on. But another way to put it would be that, somebody suggested to me, say, oh no, I don't do that, but I know a real good guy that does. That'd be one way, and it depends on the situation. Another scenario is say, no, I'm sorry, I just specialize in lawns, if you don't feel like recommending out. And just various ways that a person can do it. Yeah, once again, you risk the tree guy coming in and offering this lawn service, the discount or something, and you lose that. But here's a scenario where you can see that there's equal chances for losses by taking the job. Not to mention that you're going to lose while you're doing the job, because after day 2, then it's just eats at your soul that you're even still here. All right, well, that's my humility, embarrassing, real truth of the matter. But I didn't start YouTube videos to look like some kind of hero that knew everything. And as an example, that was the real drive behind it, was to share information, like my first video, to warn people about the potential to get hookworms from your mower deck in your skin, and how that can endanger your health and your life. And I didn't get a lot of views on that, but you can go back and catch that one. It's just basically information on how that scenario played out. But yeah, you can get the hookworms from the dog fecal matter transferred from your mower deck to your forearms and everything. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up and quit my bitching, strap this down, and get to lawns. Y'all have a good day. So what happened here was another frustration. Somehow the padlock's still on it back there. I didn't latch the padlock, I will admit, but how it came out of the hole off the ramp and reconnected itself back onto the tray is beyond fathomable. So as I'm tilting the thing up to dump, the ramp slides out, and if I didn't stop and try to deal with it, I would have bent the hell out of the back of the trailer and the ramp probably. And so I'm trying to hold the ramp up with one hand while I'm trying to connect 2 ends of a zip tie with the other.